Okay, that's where the depth sounder is going to go, and the other holes are prepped up. I think some people call this scarfing or beveling, whatever you want to call it. You basically, on thinner holes, you kind of go half the distance of the thickness of the hull, but this hull is so thick, my judgment was it just wasn't necessary, and that's the way I did it. Get some moss here. That's a 2-in-1. The work is going well, but let's talk about scope adds. Yeah, that's an addition to the work scope. Okay, so we're on the starboard side. There is the keel, of course. We're looking at this little beep. What the hell is it? What it looks like, you can see that there was a screw hole there too. So there'd be a 3-screw fitting, some kind of skin fitting, maybe one over top, or is actually still there. You can see the brass ground down, and there's a pipe on the inside. So I really have no idea. There's nothing even like that on the other side of the boat, and that's kind of a mystery. And just above it, there was an old hull fitting, and you can see where that line is, that is cracked. That's why when you're plugging a hole, you take the hole and you need to grind back. They say a 12-to-1 ratio, a big old circle. And I'm going to grind back at least enough to get 4 or 5 layers of fiberglass cloth on that. So I'm going to go do that right now before it starts raining. Okay, gloves off. What the beep? Okay. I don't know what the shit in the middle is. I don't know. The white shit is soft adhesive of some sort. Probably 3M 5200. I can see some kind of plastic ring that they just left in place, and because that grinds away, not like metal. So there was a hole penetration that they left here. They just ground it off and fucking painted over it. Oh my fucking god. And this was done in America. So you people say, oh, don't get your work done overseas. Well, fuck that. This was done by an American boat owner. So what the fuck? Okay, but real quick, we're going to go ahead and grind this off and see what we got here. Okay, that's just a little grinding. Clearly, some kind of skin fitting. So what the fuck? Beep. Why would it be here? I can't imagine any function for this hole penetration. The question is, what do you do about it? You know? What do you do about it? I'm kind of at a loss, because I'm not going to grind all this metal away. I'm just going to grind a bigger circle and put 2 or 3 layers of glass over top and just call it good. I'm not going to excise this 100%, because that's getting into the keel structure, and I'm just not going there. Yep. Well, I don't have words. I don't have words. This one is a little more easily explained. And that's what it looks like on the inside. You can see, I mean, the light wasn't coming through before. It's only because I grounded back that now more light is getting through. So I suppose the smart thing to do is fucking grind that tube, which is going to create an enormous friggin' mess inside the boat. I don't know what the hell is with all this. It's some kind of adhesive, no doubt, that brown shit. I saw this, of course, when I bought the boat, but I'm the dumbass who owns it now. Anyway. Okay, so what I've done so far is bust all the loose stuff out that comes off like a shale. That's the thing in the plug. And I'm trying to bust off any loose scale I can get. Okay, now we're getting in there. That's fiberglass. It's not pretty. Okay, so this is already telling me I've got a hole. I'm just gonna pop it right out of there. Holy shit! That was a hole in my boat the whole fucking time. This is fucking Sanford and Son fucking repair people. Well, Sanford and Son, yes or no. Beverly Hillbillies, yes or no. A friend of mine pointed out that every one of us, depending on the circumstances, might be responsible for a shitty repair like that. But whatever, I'm very happy that I finally just whacked the plug out of there, because I had been considering doing some kind of exterior patch only, and just enough to get me back in the water. But I knocked the plug out, and as I was finishing the cleanup and taking another shower, then believe it or not, I got word from one of the marine suppliers that I'll have my depth sounder this week. In fact, I got a WhatsApp at the same time as that by the other supplier telling me that the other depth sounder is here. So I bought two, and there was a risk I might end up with none, so I bought the second one, and now there's a risk I might end up with two. And would you believe that at this moment I now have two 2-inch holes in my boat? So maybe it all just works out the way it's supposed to. So I plan right now to leave that hole as a hole and install the depth sounder, another one. One will be a Raymarine and one will be a Garmin. Okay, so that's the plan for the hole. However, I've already ground back the outside of the hole, so I need to rebuild that back up. That's just me being a dumb shit. I should have knocked the plug out first, but I'm not too bright. So today I'm going to be painting the boot stripe. Today I'm going to be doing epoxy repairs over that funky brass thing in the keel. I am not going to grind that back anymore. I've got it ground back enough to get about 4 layers, about a 6-inch circle, and we're good. We're going to call that done, and we're never going to look at that for the rest of my life. The other hole I have to build back up so it's flush, so I can properly install the depth sounder. That's all. And after that, we're talking painting and painting only. I want to paint the bottom, of course, of the boat. I want to paint the white part of the hull, of course, if possible. And if possible, and if I can come up with prop speed, that's an epoxy anti-fouling coating that you put on your propeller and the propeller shaft. If I can come up with some of that stuff, I'll put that on too next week. I've got one guy who has a lead on it, but it's quite expensive. Another guy says he can get it for us cheaper, and I'm going, well, we'll see. So I put him on it, and we'll just see. We'll just see. So if I've never had prop speed on, and my boats have always survived. So if I can get prop speed, I'll put it on and see how that works. Keep the propeller nice and clean. Other than that, I'm going to get back to work, guys. It's 7 a.m. Manager's telling me to get my ass to work. So I'll get this video slapped together real fast and get it loading up to YouTube. It takes every bit of 12 to 15 hours for an episode to load up from this location because my Wi-Fi is pretty slow. If I have it at all, it's pretty slow. And if I don't have it, well, then I don't have any. So take care, everybody. This is my video for the end of week 2. Next week, in the next 7 days, it's going to be all painting, installing 2 depth sounders, and that's that. And chunk the baby back in the water. So, let's go.